finally happened. After 40 long days of gridlock, frustration, and uncertainty, the government shutdown is officially ending. In a dramatic late-night vote, the Senate passed a major funding bill to reopen the federal government. The final count, 60-40, was a turning point, breaking weeks of political standoff that left millions of Americans worried about missed paychecks, delayed benefits, and frozen services. The bill now heads to the House for final approval before going to President Trump's desk. What makes this vote remarkable isn't just that it happened, but that 8 Senate Democrats crossed party lines to make it possible. This bipartisan move signals a rare moment of cooperation in Washington, but also brings major implications for people relying on Social Security, Medicare, and food assistance. This isn't just a quick fix or a symbolic vote. The measure, officially called the Continuing Appropriations Act of 2026, funds the federal government through January 30th of next year. That may sound short, but it's enough to bring critical services back online and give lawmakers more time to hash out long-term spending plans. Essentially, this bill presses the reset button, keeping the government running at last year's budget levels while avoiding further economic fallout. But beneath the surface, it's packed with quiet changes and new provisions that could directly affect millions of Americans in the coming weeks. For instance, the bill provides full-year funding for the Department of Veterans Affairs, ensuring that veterans' hospitals, benefit centers, and counseling programs continue without disruption. It also funds new military construction projects, upgrades to Capitol Police security, and operations for the Department of Agriculture, which oversees food safety and SNAP benefits. Another critical element reimburses states that dipped into their own emergency funds to keep Medicaid, WIC, and other essential programs running during the shutdown. And importantly, it authorizes full back pay for all furloughed federal workers and contractors, an enormous relief for families who've gone without income for over a month. Now, while this bill gets things moving again, it doesn't solve everything. The political showdown that caused the shutdown began over one issue: healthcare funding. For weeks, Democrats and Republicans were at a stalemate over expiring Affordable Care Act subsidies. Democrats demanded immediate extensions for those healthcare tax credits. Republicans wanted to postpone the debate. The impasse shut down the government on October 1st, causing widespread disruption from closed offices to delayed federal payments. The longer it dragged on, the worse it got. But pressure from both parties, especially moderates like Senators Jeanne Shaheen, Maggie Hassan, and Angus King, pushed for compromise. They negotiated directly with Republican Majority Leader John Thune and the White House, crafting a deal that reopened the government first, with a promise to revisit healthcare later. That's how this breakthrough happened. Democrats didn't get everything they wanted, specifically, no immediate extension for ACA subsidies, but they did secure a commitment that the Senate will vote on the issue in December. It's not a guaranteed win, but it's a chance to keep the debate alive without holding the government hostage. Meanwhile, the White House agreed to key concessions, including a written guarantee that no federal workers will be laid off during this fiscal year, and that every furloughed employee will receive full back pay. For many families, that means overdue bills can finally be paid, rent can be caught up, and a sense of stability can return after more than a month of uncertainty. But the bill's impact stretches beyond federal workers. It touches everyday Americans through programs like Social Security, Medicare, and SNAP programs that millions depend on. Let's start with Social Security. While checks continued to go out during the shutdown because they're considered mandatory spending, many local Social Security offices were short-staffed or closed. That meant long delays for people filing new applications, requesting card replacements, or appealing benefit errors. With funding restored, these offices can reopen fully, and processing times should gradually return to normal. If you've been waiting for a benefit adjustment or paperwork update, you should finally see progress soon. The same goes for Medicare and Medicaid. While hospitals and pharmacies kept operating, many administrative functions like claim reviews, billing corrections, and provider approvals were slowed down or frozen altogether. Now that the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services can resume full operations, reimbursements to doctors and hospitals will catch up, and fewer patients will face claim-related issues. For older Americans and those managing chronic conditions, that's huge news. And then there's SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. During the shutdown, the Department of Agriculture warned that states were running out of emergency funds to keep benefits flowing. Some families even saw delays or partial payments. Now, with this bill passed, SNAP funding is officially restored through January. That means the next round of benefits will reload on time, providing critical relief for more than 40 million Americans, many of whom are seniors or families with young children. For veterans, the bill ensures that VA hospitals and mental health services continue without interruptions. For farmers, it restores crop insurance programs and food inspection services that had been paused. And for small businesses relying on federal contracts, it restarts payments that were frozen since the shutdown began. Still, even with this progress, there's a sense of cautious optimism. This funding deal is temporary. It buys time, not total peace. The same disagreements that caused the shutdown are still on the horizon. In the coming weeks, Congress must negotiate a larger budget package that addresses everything from healthcare to defense spending to tax policy. If they can't reach a consensus before January 30th, another shutdown could loom early next year. But for now, millions of people can finally exhale. Beyond politics, the emotional toll of this shutdown has been enormous. Federal workers missed paychecks. Families relying on benefits struggled to get by. Small towns that depend on government offices or parks for tourism saw business dry up. For them, this vote isn't just political news, it's a lifeline. Reopening means reopened paychecks, reopened offices, and reopened hope. The next few days will be critical. The bill now moves to the House of Representatives, where Speaker Mike Johnson faces a tough challenge. His narrow majority and divisions within both parties could make the vote unpredictable. Democrats want stronger guarantees on healthcare subsidies, while some conservatives oppose additional spending. If the House passes the bill quickly, the government could be fully reopened within a matter of days. But if disagreements flare up again, the relief could be delayed. For now, though, this Senate vote is the biggest step forward since the shutdown began. It restores stability for veterans, seniors, families, and government employees. It restarts benefit programs, puts people back to work, and gives the country breathing room to focus on bigger issues ahead. For millions of Americans, it means one simple but powerful thing: life can finally start moving again. So as Washington debates who gets credit, the real victory belongs to the people, those who kept showing up, waiting, and holding on through 40 long days of uncertainty. Whether you're a federal worker waiting for your paycheck, a retiree depending on Social Security, or a parent counting on food assistance, this bill means relief is finally on the way. And now the big question remains: was this compromise worth the wait, or did Congress just kick the can down the road? One thing's certain, for tonight, after 40 exhausting days, America can finally take a breath.